Okay, I had to react to this because this is stupid.
Order reopening outdoor recreational businesses like golf courses and
It's
pizza. Also,
those
New York,
protesters
Connecticut,
in
and
the
New Jersey
States.
announcing they would begin reopening marinas and boatyards. You also have Texas, which is expected to
First,
lift some restrictions
does
later
the
this week
U.S.
by allowing
know
Governor
that
Greg
if
Abbott
they're
all
the
the
first one
details
to
to go. Which
open up
basically means
and
that non-essential
stop
businesses can deliver or have
quarantine,
customers pick up merchandise,
and
but they won't allow
and the
anything to
virus
sell
goes
through the
on
store.
longer
Also, before
there than
Governor
everybody
retirement, all
else,
this comes as Governor
every other
President Trump
country
was
is going to
documenting
close
how
their
to help
borders to
states
the
when it comes
States.
to testing, including providing things like swabs,
I say
reagents,
2 years
chemical
if
solutions required to run
this
tests.
goes the way I
Right now,
think
the
it's going to
United States has
go,
been averaging
and they
about
open back up and every
146,000
country
tests
doesn't, and they still
statewide.
have the
State
virus in
officials and
2 years,
public health experts have said that is not enough, arguing that the number needs to be
then
several
it's
hundred
going to be
thousand
people
or
sneaking
even
across the
millions.
border into
On this
Mexico.
topic, last week researchers at
Instead of
Harvard
people
estimated that more than
trying to
any
sneak into the
restrictions,
States,
testing
it's
needs
going
to
to
be
be
shortened
people trying to sneak
pace.
out of the
At the same
States.
time, though, Trump has said that the
Because every
governors
other
are
country is going to
responsible for
close
testing,
their
and also
borders.
saying
The United States has the most robust, advanced, and accurate testing system anywhere in the world.
However, later we saw Maryland Governor Larry Hogan pushing back against those claims.
To try to push this off to say that the governors have plenty of testing and they should just get to work on testing, somehow we aren't doing our job, is just absolutely false. Every
Really?
governor in
Trump
America
trying to
is
pass the
pushing,
buck?
and fighting
That's
quality
such a
to get more
surprise.
tests, not only from the federal government, but from every private lab in America and from all across the world.
We also saw from Virginia Governor and physician Ralph Northam.
We've been fighting for testing. Now, it's not a straightforward test. We don't even have enough swabs, believe it or not, and we're ramping that up. But for the national level to say that we have what we need, and really to have no guidance to the state levels, it's just irresponsible because we're not there yet.
And others, like Ohio Governor Mike DeWine, have argued that only the federal government has the decision to tell the FDA to prioritize companies that are, quote, putting a slightly different formula together. With DeWine going on to say that if the FDA would do that, he could probably double or even triple testing in Ohio. And actually, following concerns like that, yesterday we saw Donald Trump say,
We also are going to be using, and we're preparing to use, the Defense Production Act to increase swab production in one U.S. facility by over 20 million additional swabs per month. We've had a little difficulty with one, so we're going to call in, as we have in the past, as you know, we're calling in the Defense Production Act, and we'll be getting swabs very easily. Swabs are easy.
Trump also defending himself and
Swabs are
against
easy.
those governors
That's why we
again.
can't get
have
it to the
millions
state,
of them
to
every
everywhere.
year. They're very easy. By comparison, and in all fairness, governors could get them themselves. They really could. All of this, but we're going to do it. We're going to work with the governors, and if they can't do it, we're going to do it.
And then, just this morning, we saw Trump further criticizing Democratic governors, accusing them of playing a very dangerous political game. So that is a chunk of what we're seeing in the United States. But also, with all of that,
Kind of funny that half the world's dying and
Only
Trump's
country
trying to
where
pass
people
the
are
buck.
protesting coronavirus restrictions. Over the weekend, we saw hundreds of people in major Brazilian cities coming out to demonstrate against restrictions imposed by governors who have shut down businesses. And one of the most notable protests was in Brasilia, in front of the Army's headquarters, where around 600 demonstrators gathered, many of whom were not wearing any masks or protective gear. And according to
Everyone
reports,
kinda
the
hoping that
protesters
some of the
were mostly
demonstrators get sick.
supporters of President Jair Bolsonaro. And in addition to calling
If
to end
like
the restrictions,
200
the
out of
protesters
200 people,
demanded the closure of the Supreme
50 to
Court
100
and
of the
Congress.
demonstrators
They also called
die,
on the military to step
maybe
in
that'll
and
get people a
handle the
hint.
pandemic. So, right, basically calling for a military coup. And what made this protest even more
People
significant is the fact
don't
that
listen unless
Bolsonaro
there's
himself
the
actually
fear of
showed
God
up
into
to the
people.
speech. Like many protesters, he didn't wear a mask or gloves, even coughing multiple times during his speech. And while Bolsonaro himself did not directly call for Congress to be closed or for there to be a military coup, his appearance was still a huge deal for a number of reasons. First of all, Brazil was under a military rule for over 2 decades, from 1964 to 1985, so calls to give the military
Every
more power are
politician's
highly
trying to
controversial.
weasel
And to
their
that
way.
point, we saw tons of people
Fuck if people
criticizing
dying. I want to
Bolsonaro,
stay in
including
my
the likes of
place.
former presidents, politicians, and newspaper editorial boards.
Anyway,
Reportedly,
just an
even top
opinion.
military officials
Not
told
showing you the whole
local
thing.
newspapers they were upset with the move. And another reason this is
Fuck
because it's
every
part of Bolsonaro's
politician. The
continued
world's
efforts to downplay the
gonna
coronavirus and actively defy his government.
keep
This,
keep
even though
going
Brazil has
bad
the
if they
highest number
open
of
the
confirmed
doors
cases
up.
in all of Latin America,
Stay
with
alone,
39,000
stay safe,
cases and 2,500
and all the
deaths
people that
this
don't think
afternoon.
that this
But despite
exists,
that, not only has
stay
Bolsonaro
sick.
openly opposed lockdowns
Fucking
imposed by
die.
governors, which he has
Or
ironically called
don't die. Don't
dictatorial,
die.
he's also
Just
gone against social distancing measures advised by
don't
both
be
the WHO and
stupid.
Brazil's health ministry.